Hey, what's up, guys? Isaiah from Hot Tag Wrestling, and today I'm coming at you with a video that I'm not exactly sure what it's going to be yet. I think generally the idea is going to be that I'm nervous about New Japan's World Tag League this year, which just started yesterday at time of recording. And it got off to a pretty shaky start, and it doesn't look like it's going to be improving that much. So for those who are unfamiliar with what World Tag League is, it is a similar style tournament to Best of the Super Juniors and G1 Climax, where there are 2 blocks of 8 teams each. And in one given block, every team faces the other team. So each team has a total of 7 matches. If you win, you get 2 points. If you lose, you get no points. And at the end, the 2 teams from either block with the most points face each other in the finals, the winner of which goes on to Wrestle Kingdom for a shot at the IWGP Tag Team Championships. And it's a great concept. The tournament style in this way, which has since been adopted by AEW for the Continental Classic, it's a great way to hold a tournament. I don't have any issues fundamentally with the tournament. It's more so the teams that are making it up. And I'm probably putting myself in a bad position this year because I'm choosing to watch every single block match in the Tag League because I've never watched the World Tag League before. I haven't seen one match from it any year it's occurred. So I figured this year I'm trying really hard to get more into New Japan. So I'm going to watch every match and see if in the future that's the right way to do it. Because I could just go on to Cage Match After and look at the most highly rated matches and just watch those and enjoy myself. Or I could watch the entirety of the tournament and look at individual wrestlers or individual teams' stories that progress through the entirety of the tournament. And when I eventually see the winners who go on to Wrestle Kingdom, I'll be able to have sort of tracked their progress up to that point over this long tournament. So I'm seeing if it's going to be rewarding in the same way the G1 Climax is. The reason I'm nervous about it is because a lot of the teams they have lined up here really don't look that interesting. They're made up mainly of mid-carders, and New Japan's mid-card scene is nowhere close to what it used to be. I was looking through Cage Match today to see what teams would be participating in the Tag League prior to watching Night 1, which I've already watched. And it looks a little bleak. It doesn't look good. And to highlight that, I'm going to be going through each team and sort of giving my thoughts about what they'll be able to do over the course of this tournament. So what we're looking at right now are the Cage Match pages for World Tag League. This is for Tag 1, so Night 1, which happened on the 19th of November. So I've already seen this card, and this is sort of what made me a little nervous to start with. So for our league matches, the first match was United Empire, which is made up of Callum Newman and Jeff Cobb, facing Shota Umino and Tomoaki Honma. And it was not a great match. Pretty basic, like probably just a straight 3-star match. I like the team of Callum and Jeff Cobb, and I think they will do some good things in the tournament. I just think they had a slow start. They were put in the opener, not given a ton of time, and not put against great opponents. But I don't have any worries about this team, really, and I'm sort of excited to almost see what they'll do a little bit later. This team is bad. Shota Umino and Tomoaki Honma is bad for a couple reasons. So let's start out with this. Shota Umino is facing Zack Sabre Jr. in the main event of Wrestle Kingdom for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, the top title in the company in the main event of their biggest show of the year. And there's a lot of people who have an issue with that because Shota is not really presented as a main event guy. He's presented as an up-and-comer mid-card guy who occasionally wrestles in the main event for sort of that profile boost. But he's sort of not ready for that top slot, both in terms of his ability in ring and how his character is presented. But he's sort of being put there out of necessity because you don't really have a lot of top stars in New Japan. So you want to take those little shortcuts when they're present to you to be able to make them. So putting Shota in the main event does that. But in order for that match to have the credibility it deserves, and there is a point to all this, I will loop it back to this tag league. In order for that match to have the credibility it deserves, you have to spend the 2 months leading up to Wrestle Kingdom really building up Shota as a main event talent. And I'm not saying he shouldn't be in the World Tag League, but putting him with Hanma is potentially one of the worst combinations he could have had. Because Hanma is a statue of a man. He cannot move in the ring anymore. Watching him in this match against United Empire was sad. Like the mobility is not there. He can't do what he used to do. He is lower to mid-card fare. Like, the opener is the perfect place for him to just sort of come out, get some pops from the crowd by doing his old, classic repertoire, and then getting out of there. But if you're presenting Shota Umino as a top guy, as a main event level talent, you can't be putting him in matches like that. One, he has to be having incredible matches regularly, which he can have, but not when he's paired with Hanma. And putting him with Hanma makes his star level depreciate over the course of this tournament. At least that's what I anticipate happening. So I think that is just an awful pairing. Nothing against Shota Umino. I like him. I'm excited to see what he does in the future. I'm okay with him being in this tournament. He needed a better partner than Hanma, and it was off to a rough start because this team did not look good. Shota was fine in the match. Hanma was awful. Next, LIJ, Shingo and Yoda versus Funky Sauce. I didn't even know that was their name. Alex Zane and Taguchi. Shingo and Yoda, like, dream team combination. Two of the best wrestlers in New Japan today. Absolutely no problem with them. They're going to have some phenomenal matches. I love Alex Zane. I think the first time I saw Alex Zane was maybe Battle of Los Angeles PWG 2019. He was having a tag match. I think he was teaming with Joey Janela against Blake Christensen and Tony Deppen. And I really liked him. I was very impressed by what I saw from him. And I've sporadically been keeping up with his career since then. But when I saw his name here, I was very excited for him to be in the tag league so I could watch a bunch of his matches. And he got paired with Taguchi. And I honestly don't know a lot about him. I know some of his history in the tag team scene, in the junior tag scene. So I was expecting him to be very good, and he was not in this first match. Maybe, whatever, he just had an off night. Maybe he's shaking off some cobwebs. He hasn't wrestled in a while. He was really bad in this match. Like noticeable botches off of simple moves. Nothing he did looked very effective. A bad night. So while I'm super jazzed about LIJ team, I don't have high hopes for this team. Bishamon, great returning champs. Won 3 years in a row, I believe. So no problems with them. Excited to see them. Bullet Club made up of Chase Owens and Kenta. Not for me. I don't like these two. I've never seen Kenta's work pre-WWE when he was wrestling in Noah, when he was like sort of a prodigy. So I've only ever seen him in NXT or in New Japan, and he bores the hell out of me. Chase Owens, I've never seen anything good out of. So this team isn't for me, but I understand why they're in there, because they probably can have good matches with some people. And lastly, TMDK, made up of Zack Sabre Jr. and this guy whose name I've never been able to pronounce this guy's name. Looking at this from an American English-speaking perspective, that is a nightmare of a name. I'm going to go with Oiwa. Zach's partner is what I'm going to go with. And they're going up against Gabe Kidd and the newly turned Sonata. Love it. Love both of these teams, even though I hadn't seen much of Ryohei, Zach's partner. Even though I haven't seen much of him, he looked good in the match, and I was impressed by him. And over the course of this tournament, I hope to learn how to pronounce his first name at least. And Zach's awesome, obviously. And I love this pairing. I love Gabe Kidd. He's one of my favorite wrestlers in the world right now. And newly turned Sonata, that's a good pairing for him because he'll really get to work with some character in there. So, looking at the A side of the bracket, fun team, bad pairing, amazing team, bad pairing, good team, not for me, good team, good team. That 5 out of 8 of those are good. So why would I be nervous about this? Why would I be a little trepidatious? Even though 1, 2, 3 had just pretty good matches, like pretty standard matches, why would I be nervous about this tournament? Well, let's jump over to the B block, because after I watched this show, I got a little bit excited, and I'm like, okay, let's take a look at the B block and see what they have to offer. And I got scared by what I saw. So scared I can't even pronounce offer. So this is the Night 2 card, which is happening on the 21st, which is tomorrow, Thursday. And let's look at our B block matches. Hiroshi Tanahashi and Jado versus the Natural Classics. I'm assuming these guys' names are pronounced Philippe. I have no idea who these guys are. I've never seen them wrestle before, so my mind is completely open to them. I'm hoping for the best from them. Hiroshi Tanahashi and Jado, what are we doing? 2024 the year is. If you look on the calendar, it says 2024, and if you flip back 6 years to 2018, you will see Hiroshi Tanahashi's best buy date. Sell by this date, Hiroshi Tanahashi. He hasn't done anything good in years, and he's teamed up with Jado. What are we doing? That is a bad team. They're going to have no good matches. And I don't really have much more to say about them other than that. Another UE team, Great Okan and Hanare. I'm okay with that team. I'm not the biggest Great Okan guy, but he has been honestly doing better work in 2024 than he was in his previous years. I like Hanare. I feel like this is a good like smash mouth, beat 'em up brawl kind of team. And they're going to go up against, I like that instead of just 5 guys, they're now just 4 guys. Taichi and Taka Michinoku. I like Taichi. I wouldn't say I love him. And I'll be honest, I haven't seen Taka Michinoku wrestle since 1997. Not that I was watching wrestling back then, but I saw him wrestle for WWE or WWF in the light heavyweight division back then. So, little trepidatious about that, but mind open. I'm hoping for good things. So these two teams are actually, I'm a little, I don't know if excited is the right word. It's definitely not. Optimistic. I'm optimistic about those two teams. The thing that encouraged me or inspired me to make this video is the third match on this card. Boltin Oleg and Toru Yano versus Evil and Ren Narita. If I was not planning on watching every single match in the World Tag League, every single block match that is, you could not pay me to watch that match. That seems painful. It seems like that match was made with the express purpose of being the most boring turd ever. Boltin Oleg has shown me nothing good other than that one Takeshita match in the G1 Climax. Toru Yano, once again, sell by date, gone. Evil's boring. Ren Narita, I hate him. I think he's awful. I think he's an actively bad wrestler. I'm honestly, out of these 4 matches, sort of looking forward to this one just to see how... And you know what? It could be good. There's every possibility that it could be good. But just seeing it on paper, it's like, what are you thinking putting them together? I get Evil and Ren Narita being in this tournament, but Boltin Oleg and Toru Yano, come on, there has to be something better. Put the West Coast Wrecking Crew in there if you want. Get the grizzled young veterans in there again. Advance a team up from the junior heavyweight tag division. I know they just wrestled in it earlier, but bring Catch-22 or the Ichiban Sweet Boys up. Put Taji Ishimori in this tournament with one of the members of the Bullet Club. Anything. Put Taji Ishimori and David Finlay. Let them take Boltin Oleg and Toru Yano's spot, or Tanahashi and Jado. it's just sort of annoying because I want to get really, really invested in New Japan because I love their presentation style. And when they hit so freaking hard. They're so good when they nail it, but they just don't have the roster depth to be able to nail it as much as they used to. And this is a sign of it. And I'm not necessarily... No, you know what? I am blaming the bookers for that because this, like... I don't know what the better alternative is, but you can have better tag teams in this tournament. It seems like this is such a non-entity kind of tournament, and I shouldn't pay attention as a result. But then you look at the main event, and you have Hiromu Takahashi and Tetsuya Naito going up against TMDK. That's going to be a great match. Like, that is the kind of stuff you are getting from this tournament. Teams you could not possibly care about less, who are just going to stink up the show, and then some of the best tag teams on earth today, like TMDK. I love TMDK. I think they're incredible. They have awesome matches, and getting to see them mix it up with like the UE or Taichi and Taka, like that's exciting. But then you look at, they're going to have to face House of Torture. They're going to have to face Hiroshi Tanahashi and Jado. How excited can I really get? And even looking back at the other side, like I like the War Dogs. I like this version of Team DK. I like Bishamon, but eventually they're going to have to face Hanma. They're going to have to face Chase Owens. They're going to have to face Taguchi. Like, I think there's better options that New Japan could have picked for people to put in this tournament. And when they did it with the G1, when they put Callum Newman in the G1 and they put Bolton Oleg in there, when they could have had, Tomohiro Ishii, or they could have had Taichi, or they could have had Yoshihashi, or they could have brought someone else from the outside in. I get that because they're looking to build new stars. This is not a star-building outlet. This is not the way to build new stars. Putting Bolton Oleg, a guy who is fairly new and fairly inexperienced, in what you know is going to be a stinker of a match. And then he's going to have a lot more stinkers based on what we see in this block. It's just... I want to be invested in this tournament. And I want to say I'm excited because I love the tournament format and I love some of the people who we have in it. But then I see names like this and I just cannot get excited about it. And I guess that's my main takeaway. So I'm sorry if this video has just been a lot of me bitching about how bad I think this tournament's going to be, because it does have the possibility to have some really, really good matches in it. I just feel like the majority of what we are going to get is going to be mid or actively bad. And unlike the G1 Climax this year, I don't see as many opportunities for those sort of high point, classic, amazing matches. I just don't think we're going to get that many of them. Maybe one, maybe two, but I don't really see the possibility of it happening frequently. And that's why I'm nervous about this tournament. I guess I just really want it to be good because I love New Japan. I want them to succeed, but and it's not even their fault. They just don't have the roster depth after so many of their talent have left, and they've been forced to sort of bring up a lot of newer talent and push some older talent who are sort of a little bit out there at this point. I get why they have to do it. It's just a bad viewing experience for the viewer. But who knows? In a month's time, I could and hopefully will be making a video where I just completely eat my words and say, this was the greatest tournament I've ever seen in my entire life. I really hope I get to say something along those lines because I want to enjoy this tournament. I really, really want to like it. Hey, those are my thoughts. I don't like being very negative in videos. A lot of the time I like to talk about positive things and things I like in wrestling, but I'm just really trepidatious about what I'm going to be watching over the next month, and I'm nervous because I feel like I might be wasting my time really getting invested in this tournament. But Let me know what you guys think. Have you watched World Tag League tournaments in the past? Is it worth my time trying to get invested in this? What do you think of some of the matches we're going to be getting down the line in this tournament? Are you excited? Do you disagree with me? Think we're going to have a lot of good matches? Or are you sort of in the same boat as me where you're like, doesn't look like the best cards? Let me know down in the comments below. If you like the video, please consider subscribing. I promise I'm not as much of a crumb bum in all my videos as I've been in this one. I have been Isaiah from Hot Tag Wrestling. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.